something a little bit different today. Most of you know me for my home decor and DIYs, but my full-time job is a graphic designer for a large company, and I thought this would be a good way for you to get to know me better. And since my full-time is very important to me and I love what I do, I thought I would show you my day and then do some quick Q&A at the end, because I got a few questions from you guys a while back and I want to make sure to answer those. As you previously saw, I usually wake up, greet my cats, and then relax on the couch for a bit and plan my day. When I feel awake enough, I head downstairs for my morning workout. I alternate days with weights and cardio. I usually do about 30 minutes of working out. Then I lay down on this neck pillow to offset any tech neck posture from the previous day of staring at screens. And this is a great time to cool down after my workout. I use the SNAIL app to do a meditation, or I'll do my prayers, and this usually takes no more than 10 to 15 minutes. So I work for a marketing department in an HR company, and I've been with my company for about 14 years. I was in advertising agencies before that, and things were always disorganized and hectic, and I had to wear a lot of hats. So I really appreciate the structure and focus on one brand that happens when you're with a marketing department within a company. Everyone has their tasks and works together as a team, and you're always focused on perfecting the marketing materials for one company. So I love research and digging into things, and the brand feels like home to me since I've been with it so long, and my coworkers feel like family to me. So I'm just really happy that I haven't bounced around from job to job these last 14 years, because there are a lot of benefits to sticking with the same company for so long. So usually I start my morning by looking at what projects I have, and we do have a project management software called Workfront, and this is really helpful to plan my day. And then I go into a meeting every day with my coworkers, and this is great because we can all touch base and see what each other are working on that day, and we can kind of coordinate any meetings we need to have with each other. I work with the writers a lot, and then there's project managers. There's also account managers that tell us what they've been talking to the clients about and any changes they may have on what we're working on. But usually I know what I'm going to work on that week, and I can really plan my week out and make sure that everything gets done on the deadline. Because I have a desk job, my back and neck can really get messed up if I don't pay attention to my posture. So I listen to my Apple Watch, and when it says I haven't stood up for an hour, then I listen to it and I stand up for a few minutes. I also keep track of my steps and try to get 10,000 steps a day. So I'll usually combine my standing reminder with a little walking in the basement. I aim for being at 5,000 steps by lunchtime, and then at lunch I'll usually take a 30-minute walk. If it's nice out, I'll go outside and enjoy the fresh air. And if it's too cold or windy, I'll just do 20 to 30 minutes walking around the house. Or sometimes I just take a break at lunch and read a book. So any break away from my computer screen is welcome. I also have a stretching app, and since I'm at my desk all day, I'll pick the stretches that are for your neck. So I'll usually do this on the couch or in a chair other than my computer desk chair. And this will just adjust my posture and realign my body. You may wonder if it's hard to work from home because of distractions. I do try to stay focused on my full-time job through the entire day, aside from doing self-care things like stretching and taking breaks for walking during the day. I find that if I get distracted with laundry or deep cleaning the house or running to the store, then it's hard to get my focus back to work. So even though it's no fun, I save laundry and longer chores for weekends. But I do work in 10 minutes a day of cleaning during weekdays, and I don't mean just wiping down the kitchen counters after making lunch or doing dirty dishes. Those things happen every day. So I mean more detail-oriented cleaning tasks like dusting and cleaning the floors or baseboards. So I do the Fly Lady method, and I use an app called Home Routines. You can create your own cleaning tasks based on your home, and the app will automatically schedule to clean a zone during certain weeks. So every day, well, not every day, let's be realistic here. I set my little timer and I check off the tasks that I can manage in 10 minutes. And this is a good break, and I usually get in a few more steps while I'm doing all the cleaning. I use a MacBook Pro and I have it hooked up to a large monitor here. Because of some of the detail work that I do, I find having the large monitor makes my job much easier. I work on brochures, websites, flyers, I do emails, I do really large convention graphics, like things for elevator clings and big signage and PowerPoints for conventions, and wow, I mean, pretty much anything that you might read or look at for marketing materials for a company, I design. So, I mean, it's endless, really. I could go on and on everything that I work on, but a lot of the times there's little details that I need to pay attention to and make sure everything's lined up perfectly. So, because of that, the equipment is really important so you can see what you're doing really well. I prefer to use a mouse instead of a trackpad, and I have a large keyboard for more control and speed while I'm working. I rarely sit on the couch or anywhere other than my desk when I'm working, and that's just to make sure that I have really good posture and that I can see all the detail on my monitor. I would say the only time I step away from this setup is when I'm hunting for stock photography or reading a long document before I start to design it. So for those things, I may take a break and take my computer onto the deck and enjoy the weather while I read or look for photos. The company I work for is in Texas and I'm on Mountain Time, so they are 1 hour ahead of me. 90% of my coworkers are in Central Time, so because of that, I adjusted my schedule when I moved to Colorado. So standard hours for my company are 8 to 5, but since I'm an hour behind, I work 7 to 4. This works out really well for me actually, because I'm one of those weird morning people. I don't need coffee and I wake up ready to go around 5 a.m. and that gives me about 2 hours to work out and get ready for my day. Then when I'm done at 4 p.m., since my husband works for a company in Denver, he's still working at 4 p.m., so I have a couple hours to work on my YouTube stuff or freelance projects before starting dinner and settling in for the night. I usually do crafts, home decor, and DIYs on my channel, so I may get a head start on some crafts before cooking dinner. If you like these types of day in the life videos and you enjoy home decor and DIYs, then make sure to subscribe. And I always love hearing from you guys, so please leave me a comment on what kind of content you would like to see from me. If you like these day in the life style videos, I can definitely do more, maybe focusing on my YouTube geared days or weekend adventures. I live in Colorado, so I definitely have fun getting outside and enjoying the weather on hikes and all the other sights to see here. Or if you just want more crafts and home decor, then let me know that's what you like. And you can just write your comment down there in the comment section below. Okay, let's get into some Q&A. Shelly asked a few questions here. Thanks for these questions, Shelly, and I hope you're doing well. She asked, where do you find inspiration? As a designer, do you always feel like you have to be creative? And do you secretly critique other design work? I find inspiration in everything I look at. So nature inspires me, books I read inspire me, movies. So anytime I see something that clicks with me or I think that I could use in my work, I write it down or sketch it out, and I frequently look through my sketchbook to remind me about those ideas. Art has always been and always will be inspired by things that we see. Everyone's story is different, so how they interpret what they see is different. And that's where the uniqueness of how artists create really comes out. Do I always feel like I have to be creative? No, not always, and sometimes I purposely don't do anything creative because I need a break. So on weekends when I'm not preparing a video or working my full-time, then I try to not think about art or design at all. I think like anything, you can get burnt out if you do it too much or if you overthink it. So I try to be careful there. And then Shelly's last question is, do I secretly critique other design work? I would say I used to do this more when I was a designer right out of school, and I think that's because design school is all about getting critiqued, so I think I needed to critique others, and it was also a way for me to learn what I liked and didn't like about other designs that I saw. But now that I've been designing so long, it's really intuitive to me what I like and don't like, and I'm not really judging anyone else's work because it goes back to everyone's life experience is different, so what they create is personal to them and to their eye. So I usually have respect for others' designs, and yeah. Okay, let's move on to KD Ramsey's questions. Where did you study graphic design? I went to the University of North Texas for my Bachelor of Fine Arts, and I focused on graphic design with a minor in advertising. This was a 4-year degree, so I did have to take math and science and literature as well as all the design classes, and I feel like that really helped to make me a more well-rounded person and more knowledgeable in everything. So I feel like just taking in the world around you and knowing a little bit about everything can contribute to making you a better designer. I came out of college with a portfolio and I was ready to interview and found a job pretty quick. Then many years later, I decided to get my master's from the same school, and I did an MBA in marketing. And I felt that that really rounded out my interests even more, and it's pretty specific to me because I really love art and design, but I also have an analytical side to me that loves research and understanding the why behind pretty much everything, but definitely in what I'm designing. What other designers inspire you? I don't want to leave anyone out here because there are a lot of great designers out there. But if I'm working on a new project, I might go to Designspiration, Dribble, or Awards just to see how others may have approached a similar project. I don't copy anyone exactly, but I like doing this because I like to see fresh ideas, and you can definitely get inspired looking at other people's work and maybe incorporate 1 or 2 things that you see into your design. If you could design for anyone or anything, what would you do? This is hard because I really do love my job. I'm really happy there, but it would probably be for a nonprofit. I'm not sure which one, but even though I do impact people where I work now, I think if I worked for somewhere that helps a cause, whether it were like cancer research or something like that, I feel like that would be really fulfilling, and yeah, I think I would really like that. Okay, a question from Fitness with Meg. Hi Meg! She asked, what is your favorite thing you've ever designed? Oh my gosh, okay. Back in my ad agency days, even though they were long hours and crazy, there were a few projects that stand out. I guess my favorite one was when I worked on a seasonal magazine for a luxury retail mall. This was in Miami. And we had a photo shoot on the beach, but had to make the beach look like a beautiful spring garden. So we brought in all these flowers, and the lighting was just so perfect that day and very ethereal. So it was the spring catalog, and the model wore all these different floral prints. It was just beautiful, and I will never forget that photo shoot and how those photos really came together in the final catalog. Cassie wants to know, what programs do you use? I use the Adobe Suite every day, and mostly I'm in InDesign, which is great for laying out documents that have a lot of text, like for a brochure. Then Illustrator is mostly for illustrations. So if I need to create a suite of icons or a large shape that I want as part of the design on that page, then I would use Illustrator. Photoshop is for retouching and resizing photos. And I use all of these every day. For my YouTube videos, I edit in Premiere Pro, which is another Adobe product. Cassie also asked, do you have to be artistic to be a graphic designer? Okay, you may not expect me to respond this way, but I'm going to say no, you don't have to be artistic to be a graphic designer. And here's why. I'm a huge believer that everyone is creative in their own way. I say that all the time on my channel here. So I feel like any skill can be taught. Being creative is just a skill like sports, and some are more gifted at it from when they're young, or they're just groomed to be good at it from a young age. So I feel like being a designer is something that you can learn, even if you're not a so-called genius at it from the start. If you're interested enough in design, it will eventually become intuitive to you, as long as you have really good teachers and you're willing to learn and grow. So she asked, is there an area of design that you wished you were more proficient? And what's the most challenging part of your job and the most rewarding? These are good questions. Okay, the area of design that I wish I was more proficient is probably illustration. I feel like a lot of designers have their own illustration style and really make a career completely out of that. So I've always been able to adapt to the brand or project that I'm designing for. So I've never really developed my own personal style. So when I see others with a very unique style to them, I guess that's something that I wish I had. And what's the most challenging part of your job and the most rewarding? I guess the most challenging part would be managing my time. So I have a lot of jobs to do all at once, and prioritizing which one needs to be done first and balancing how long each one will take me to reach deadlines. That would probably be the hardest part for me. The most rewarding, and I think most designers would probably say this, is seeing the final product when you're done. Especially holding a print piece in your hands that you spent months working on, just having that moment to hold it and touch it and feel the paper and the weight of the thing. It's just such a nice feeling to know that all your work is done and the client's happy, and you have this beautiful brochure or whatever it is right there as proof that your job is done and it was done well. Sometimes my work even gets entered into competitions, and I would say walking up on stage to receive the trophy for it and having it up there on the big screen and everybody clapping, that is just the ultimate reward. I hope you enjoyed this video and got a little peek into what it's like to be a graphic designer working from home. Make sure to hit the like button and also that subscribe button so you'll know when my next video goes up. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys' support, and I hope you have a very creative day. Bye!